welcome to Book Interrupted. Today we will be covering the 2021 Season 1 recap. Let's see what we have in store, folks.
In good Meredith fashion, I was like, I can't remember things like the whole season. So I was like, I'm just going to cram and like on fast forward, watch all of our YouTube videos, but like kind of skip forward and stuff to see what we did. Of course you did.
Good, because I did not do
Nicely done, Mare.
I'm such a nerd. I have 4 pages of like little notes that I take out. But looking back, and I feel like I looked so youthful at the beginning. It was like pre-pandemic, we were recording. Yeah. And like I was so carefree and whatever. And there's also like some good quotes like try blowjobs or like, do you remember that from the
Untamed?
Hi.
That should be the game. Name what season or what book the quote came from.
Oh, good one, KJ.
Totally. I could make it. Yeah, I could like, put it together. But yeah, maybe lots more sex stuff in the beginning. Remember, it was like, is it a sextet? You're like, and Leah's like, well, we've got options if we don't take off. Anyway, so I have
good
notes.
Job, Mare. Wow.
Okay, so first question is, what is your favorite memory or quote from our group discussions from the 2021 season? Who would like to go first?
I'm not putting my hand up. I just sat like this for a second.
Okay, I don't know if this is a favorite one, but remember when we did Women Who Run with the Wolves and kind of like the wrap up at the end, because half of us were like, we cannot read this book. Like, there's no way. And then the other half was like, I'm going to read it 10 more times in my lifetime, right? And there was a lot of tears during that episode, and I had to write everything down. So like the first episode, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And Kim wraps it up after many tears about, because about how it affected us. And she said, the magic of Women Who Run with the Wolves has been experienced by each one of us in a different way. And you didn't even have to read the book is the best part. Like the book itself is this magic little tool. Wraps it up. And that's what she says. And we're like, yeah, because we're getting through it. And we're just like, some of us are like, I can't read it. And I'm not going to read it. And then when we talk about it, we're like, oh, but it's helped all of us. So we don't have to read it. We just have to own it or whatever, look at it or think about it.
Yeah, that was true. I like that point. The magic of the book.
Needs to be in the house.
The magic of the book. And it was like nice to start that because when we started, and I think a lot of us were like, this is the book? Oh no. And because of the 6 weeks cycle also, reading the book, who's going to get through it? But then it was a nice book to start with too, because it had such an impact already. And then it felt like doing the podcast was going to impact us positively, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
You've just stirred up my memory, because I think also what you're touching on here is that because I know personally I was very worried that I wasn't going to finish the book. We had all received explicit instructions that you don't have to finish the book. However, in not finishing the book, I still felt fear that wasn't a true instruction and it was going to be a problem, like, oh, not finishing the book. And so you're right, Mare, like it was the first time, like the fact that it helped everyone anyway was cool, but also just it was the true permission, because I was so relieved when I found out that, I don't know what, 50% of us, there was a good number of us, like as soon as someone else was like, me either, I was like, oh, like such a relief. And so,
it's a safe space. Wonderful.
Yeah, totally. It really is
a safe space.
Yeah, totally.
The one that doesn't require you to finish it. Yeah.
What a perfect book club.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just really a club. So I don't remember anything, but what happens is my strategy was, coming through this, other people would talk and then I would remember. So it's happening. And I think that the blowjob thing that you were saying, Mare, about
totally. Yeah.
That was some good quotes there during Untamed.
From Untamed.
Yeah, from Untamed. Mm-hmm. So that would be my short and sweet answer for this question.
Try blowjob.
I can't even choose one. Mine is like all in the bucket. Basically everything Leah says, those are my favorite quotes, and it's really hard to choose a favorite from like ripped underwear to like
I forgot the ripped
this one's from my grandma.
Oh my god!
And this is from my grandpa, and they're going to motorboat together in heaven.
It's all gold. But I think probably the one that like shocked me the most was during we're back to Untamed again, is when Leah said that the author likes the smell of her own farts. Like, honestly, there's like no, it's not like
Look at her face. Leah's like,
Leah.
oh, I said that.
no. Oh my gosh. And like, again, not meaning to be insulting to the author, but just as a way of explaining that your general impression that the author may indeed quite like herself and everything.
I think in the same breath, she also said that she was a great writer, right?
Oh,
it was just
yeah,
that
no, she
aside
did,
makes
yeah.
it funny. Yeah.
I think she also said she likes her own farts too. Leah admitted, right? Isn't that true, Leah?
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I like them.
Your own farts?
I don't think I like how they smell.
I'll confess, I like the way my farts
They're a
smell.
part of me. I don't hate
part of
them.
me.
I don't hate them.
So I
don't
accept
know.
them.
They're disgusting. I don't know. Have any of you gone through like, I haven't had a major dietary change, but all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, all of a sudden I fart and it's like an old person smell fart.
That's
It
just
smells
because
like
you're
an
old now.
like it smells like my dad's old man fart or something. And it's like, when did this happen? I used to have like, I don't know, reasonable, and now it's like deadly, and nothing's changed. I was like, does stress cause you to change your fart smell?
It does. I think it does actually impact
Your
like,
microbiota
GI tract.
changed.
Yeah.
Well, my GI tract's all fucked up.
Well, mine
Maybe
are
it
really
is a part
bad.
of aging.
Are they
So-
really bad just lately though, Lynn?
No, mine just because when I have, not all the time, but if I have dairy, they're bad.
Oh,
like
well, yeah.
poor Laird. If I was by accident, there's something like cow's milk or something in things,
Oh.
and then it's just bad.
Poor
It's-
Laird.
the poor guy. He's like, oh my God, get me out of here.
You're like, I know he really loves me.
He does.
That's-
It's true.
That's funny. It makes me think of, when I was younger, I was lactose intolerant, but I wasn't diagnosed at first. So I would get really bloated whenever I had dairy, and I had it all the time because, growing up in the 80s, you just had milk with everything. And I remember I used to always say to my mom, being like, look, I have a food baby. But really, like, that was the sign. My stomach is bloated out like I'm pregnant. Maybe something's happening down
Can't
there.
all be food.
I know.
It can't all be poo.
Do you love the
Poo,
80s and
food.
90s
Can't
when
all
we
be
have
food.
those reactions?
It's not a poo baby. It's a
Yeah.
food baby.
Food baby. Poo.
Please.
Food.
Okay.
I just said, I heard food baby, but then when you were saying it can't all be poo, I thought you were saying like, after you have a food baby, you do have a poo baby. It's the natural progression of
I
things.
think saying I have a poo baby is a nice way of saying that you're constipated. I have a poo baby.
It's like the gentle term.
I think that might be my favorite quote now. If you don't have a food baby, then you have a poo baby.
Great, look at us making it.
can't
We
have
can
one
what we
without the
remember
other.
for the 2022 season recap.
Yeah.
Book interrupted. So the interruption is that I thought it was going to take me a really long time to prep and get ready for the photo shoot for season 2. And the interruptive part is that it literally didn't even take a minute to get, like, the hair was even crazier pre-photo shoot, but that was kind of disturbing that it didn't take very long to prep to look this disarrayed.
Book interrupted.
Probably my favorite quotes. I mean, I can't remember a specific one, so it was when Kirsten Karchmer came on for me because that was my book choice, and she just had so many interesting things to say and so much gems, and really shared with us and talked to each of us about things that we're going through. And so I wish I could remember one in particular, but that was probably my favorite of the quotes. Of
Maybe the favorite is like, why don't you tell me what's happening and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what can help. And everyone was like,
Yes.
really? Right now? You're going
I
to
know,
help
we were
me?"
all like,
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
was
we all
really-
secretly wanted, right? We're like, I
Yeah,
want a
yeah.
personal session with
Really.
this author, and then she was like, I'll give it to you, and we were like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could say the quote, it's not, but that's from the book. What it's what's the, it's not,
Common Common,
It's
not normal.
Common, not normal.
But isn't this
Yeah.
favorite moment or quote? So you can your whole
Moment, yeah.
Okay.
your whole thing
Kirsten,
is good.
all of
Don't need a
Kirsten,
quote.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I like when she said she's best friends with us now.
Oh yeah. That was big.
We want all of our
Kara was
authors
going to
say
like
that.
jump out of her chair.
Oh my God.
I'll be right there, Kirsten.
I was like, okay, I'll mail you half a heart.
No,
Your
it's
half a
gotta
heart
be
locket
it's
is
gotta
in
be
the
cut to
mail.
7. That'd be seven
Beefra.
pieces.
Oh my God, I just thought you were going to cut out your heart in my I'm so tired. And I was thinking you meant you were going to cut your heart out and give her half your heart. And I was like, oh, that's gross.
That might
Oh
be a
my
little far.
goodness.
He's a very loyal friend.
I don't know if that's a good step to
Sorry.
take to build a friendship.
That might end the friendship.
Yeah.
And not even just for
Rise
being
in a
too
box.
gross, it would be because Kara can't live with only a ventricle.
Right?
So she'd be dead. So there'd be no friendship. Yeah.
Oh dear.
No.
You know what my favorite moment or quote is? It's also from Seeing Red, the book, is when Kim was telling her first period story, or the first time she used a tampon, and she's like, "This
Oh
can't
my
be
God.
right."
I think it was
in the wave pool.
perpendicularly. I think it was
Yeah, and she's
perpendicular.
like, and she said, and then I was in the wave pool, being like, "This can't be right."
That should be my "What happened to you" story.
In the meantime, her mom's telling
Right.
all of the family that she got her period. Thanks, Mom.
That whole moment.
Yeah, that was a good one. This can't be right.
Yeah.
Leah, did you have a favorite? Did Leah say?
I really enjoyed for like not like it wasn't a silly one, but with when Squiggy was on, he's so like just well versed in the words department, and he like I love the whole stumble forward quote, and just the way he like explained everything. Though I found it interesting how possibly because of the book, or maybe because he's a male, I don't know, the dynamic in the fan, or maybe because it was our first fan, was very uncomfortable in the banter department. Did you guys notice that?
Well,
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
yes.
The whole white fragility, everyone's like, usually when we start an
Crickets.
episode, everyone's like, I have something to say. I have something. Everyone's just like, you go
Yeah. So it was kind of like, I wonder if it's like the male dynamic, or the topic of conversation wasn't as easy. But
I put it down to my implicit bias, right? Like that's the whole kind of thing that we were kind of learning in White Fragility, right? So I was very aware that he was a person of color, and then because already super hypersensitive because we're doing White Fragility. And then so to have him come on and it be that topic. So I was like full implicit bias, right? Like the secret racism that most people don't want to even own, right? Mine was full out. So I was trying really hard not to be like extra best friendy, or, you know, like the weird, you know, that video with that girl doing that lady's hair, you know, where she's saying all those things because she's trying to show how much she likes Asian people or whatever you know what I'm saying? So
it was Lily.
Yeah. So I felt that what you're saying, Leah, but what I wanted to add was I felt like Squiggy really made a safe space. Like that went away for me after speaking with him and talking to him, and all of the way you said he was so well spoken, like all of that, the way that he was
not
able
just
to
well spoken, but that whole concept around stumbling forward. I
Absolutely.
think,
It gave
for a
us permission
quote,
to
just, like,
be
encapsulated. That's my favorite quote. Like possibly of the I just keep saying it to myself in all aspects of life, because all I do is fucking fall over and eat shit a lot. So,
which is I know,
but
and
somehow hopefully in a forward motion.
Right. So having someone say that that's okay, because we all have these like secret perfectionism tendencies.
So like at the beginning of the episode, he kind of gave like a preamble being like, you know, that I think put everybody at ease when he did his intro. It was really good.
Yeah, because
he
he
like
just
he explained
said,
his intentions.
yeah, and he said he wanted to be here to support us, but not to tell us what to do, like not to teach us. He's just there as a witness and to help, you know, which I liked.
I really appreciated his like long pauses and his like consideration and him thinking. Like there was no hustle in him. to keep a dialogue going. Like, you know how sometimes when you're talking with someone, especially if it's someone that you don't know very well, do you guys ever get this where you feel like you're like, fill up the empty like noise spaces, like just keep talking, blah 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 blah. And I just really appreciated how there is such a centeredness and a self-confidence within him that it was like there was no rush.
Right,
I
like
really
he
like
could have a
that.
silence without it feeling awkward.
Yeah.
Right? There's awkward silence, and then there's sometimes you can just have silence conversation and you don't feel uneasy. That's
Yeah, I
helpful.
really like that.
I feel like he's been like that. I mean, because I've known him for a while, that he's just that's his being, I feel. So like, yeah, which I
nice.
like. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why we became friends, because I like to fill the silence and he doesn't. So it was kind of nice for me to be like, oh, maybe I should stop talking all the time. So Sarah, next question.
Yeah, next one.
If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
On Book Interrupted.
Never forget, every child matters.